Brandon's here. We're talking effective glute ham raise technique. We're going to show you some common faults to look for, how you can get the most out of this exercise. We're going to show you a couple regressions as well as a couple progressions if you are a hamstring wizard. Brandon, go ahead and show them the first fault, which would be bringing the hips back from the bottom first. Now this is a fault that's very common. It's something that a lot of people do when they try to maintain a neutral spine, but they aren't quite strong enough to do a glute ham raise in a full range of motion. They tend to pull the hips back first. Now that's going to make the exercise a little bit easier because the lever that is the torso here is what's going to actually make this exercise challenging. So the torso really needs to be over top of the hips the entire time, and the hips need to be fully extended to make this very, very challenging. And then the next fault that we're going to see is excessive arching from the bottom of the glute ham raise. Right there. Now this is also, again, a very common fault that we'll see when people try to gain a little momentum or they're just trying to get their reps done. They go into a massive amount of extension. Now they're still going to get quality work done like that, but it's not going to be as targeted at the hamstrings as it could be if they kept their spine neutral. And the final fault that we're going to see is individuals not lengthening their hamstrings at the bottom or straightening their knees. We're going to go and do it and leave your knees bent here. Again, another common fault there. Now, our ideal position is going to be almost like a tabletop position at the very end. Now, you'll notice here, Brandon actually moves his shoulders, hips, and knees at the exact same rate. There's not one area that's leading beyond the other. It's one really fluid motion. One thing that we'll do often for clients is have them check themselves and use a PVC pipe. I'll often tell, go ahead and put that on your back, Brandon, kind of like this. One of the first things that I'll do with clients who do glute ham raises, I'll give them an AMRAP. I want to see how many they can do. If they report to me that they can do 20 or 30, I'm immediately putting them with a PVC pipe on their back because it's almost always because they were doing one of the faults we just mentioned that allow them to do that many reps. Go ahead, Brandon. Now we're just going to keep Brandon honest here to make sure that he can actually maintain his spinal position. And if you are unsure if you're doing them correctly, I would do all of your glute ham raises just like Brandon is doing here. Go ahead and relax there, Brandon. Now there's a few ways that we can progress this. If you are, like I said, a hamstring wizard, you can do 20 quality glute ham raises. You should be adding some form of load. There's a few different ways that we can add load here. The simplest way is to hold a plate on your chest. We're not going to show you all these, we're going to talk through them, but imagine Brandon held a plate on his chest, like maybe a 25-pound plate or a 45-pound plate. The next thing we could do is if your glute ham raise has band pegs on them, we can put a band around these pegs, and Brandon could hold them in his hands, or he could put them around his neck, and that would add some load to it. And the final way, and this is actually my favorite way to progress a glute ham raise, is to lower this pad. Now, this is a feature that not many glute ham raises have. This is a homemade glute ham raise, specialty circa 2000, probably in Duffin's garage. This pad goes up and down, as well as this moving back and forth. Now, all glute ham raises are going to have an adjustable ankle pad that goes back and forth, but not many have this adjustable height pad. If you lower the pad, it's actually going to create a bigger lever within the torso and require the hamstrings to work a little bit harder. And so if Brandon was really, really good at doing glute ham raises, we would actually lower the pad a little bit to give him a larger range of motion to work out of, and that's going to make this drill very, very challenging. Now, the one regression that I would recommend if you can't do like 5 quality glute ham raises is to do supine hamstring curls. Brandon, let's get on the ground and show them what that looks like. Go ahead and lay on your back with your heels on the ground, kind of like in a sit-up position. Oh, hey guys. Hey. Now in this position, Brandon's going to bridge up, and this is going to be kind of challenging. I don't even know if you can do it on this surface. You should be able to, but he's going to point his toes up, and he's going to pull his feet into his butt. Go ahead, Brandon. Yeah, with the heels only, Brandon. Heels sliding. Yep. Toes off the ground, heels sliding all the way out, and pull all the way in. Yes, like I said, this is a hard surface to do it on this tacky kind of turf that we have. But if you were doing this, we'd recommend doing it on like the regular mats you have in the gym or something like that, and use like a furniture slider or use a towel under your heels. And this is going to be an excellent regression from the glute ham raise. Brandon, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite bodyweight exercises for strength specifically. One thing I would add though is a lot of individuals are so invested in progression, but they're not even getting quality reps body weight done in the first place. So just really make sure that we're highlighting, really keeping good posture as we're doing this, not doing any of the faults we mentioned beforehand, and be more invested in quality reps rather than progression, because again, that's the best way to actually get something out of this exercise.
What do you guys think?
Good job.
So the first week of February, we're putting on an event called Kabuki Education Week,
where we're bringing in 40 plus industry experts on strength, therapy, biomechanics, nutrition, sports science.
Industry leading coaches, educators, and clinicians. Over the course of the week, all of them are going to be putting on presentations an hour apiece, and also leaving room at the end so that you can dive deeper in some Q&A sessions.
Sign up now via the link in our bio.